Understanding what is going on in your unconscious earth, the grounding in your human design, can give you so much leverage, such a boost, really be the foundation for those breakthroughs, those aha moments, those living life feeling aligned. It's one area that I've been spending a lot of time in. I've actually been making a series of videos. So what I'm going to share with you here is, this is my report that I did for me. When I make reports for clients, and I made one for myself, is I think of them as becoming self-study guides, something for self-coaching that lasts more than just one read, something you can read over and over and over. So there's a lot of hidden stuff in here, and I've really been exploring mine and sharing mine and what I create and what I think is important. And so the thing that I've been talking about in this video series is about my purpose. Right here you'll see gate 22.2, and where you can see that, let's see, I'm going to move my video down here. And let's get out a pen so we can see what I'm talking about. Right here, it's on this part of your chart. It'll be the second one down on the left-hand side in your unconscious, your earth grounding, or your purpose. And mine is a 22.2. So that's gate 22 with a line to quality. And so I'm only going to be focusing on this gate 22. It's also right here in this center, which is the emotional solar plexus. I am a 6-2 generator with emotional authority. This is really important for me because unconscious grounding, important. It's in the emotional solar plexus. That's my authority. I need the authority. I need to ride my emotional wave so that I can get to my sacral, my generator. Yes, no. And because it has a 2 line, there's this little bit of hermiting, and that relates to my profile. It all kind of like, this is the one thing that seems like it all swirls together. And so this is what I've been talking about. Yours will be different. Yours won't be a 22. Maybe yours will be a 22, and this will really be spot on. But for you, it might be somewhat different. And one of the things I've been talking about is by looking up this and knowing that mine has to do with emotions, it guides me in the kind of grounding techniques, the modalities that I end up using. Something always with emotions for me is what I'm looking for. And even something as simple as, meditation. You can do meditation in a bunch of different ways. So I always do something that revolves around emotions. When I do, say, like dancing, there's lots of ways that you can do dancing. I always, if I'm looking for a grounding, it's about something emotional, because that is my grounding. And so you can study yours and you can find out what yours is, and you can get a free chart and look it up if you want. Or, if you don't know, send me an email. I'll put something here in the description for you, but send me an email. I'll tell you what your unconscious grounding is, where it is, and give you some ideas of these might be grounding techniques that relate to you, because this is where yours is related. So mine's emotional, and I have been sharing different parts of it, and I'm going to read, let me get to, sorry, I'm going to have to zoom out. This report is quite intense because so you can use it over and over and over and over. And I want to share you something. I always end up writing some letters at the end. I'll move this over here. I want to share some information, bring it back, give you some room to see it for yourself, share some information, ask some reflection questions. And I always end up with like a little, let's kind of bring it all together. And so this is kind of like a note to myself in here. And I never really remember what I write. So every time I come back to it, it feels like something new to me. And that's the point of the whole project here, is to have something that you can self-coach. So grace in the bones of your business, where presence becomes strategy and being becomes brand. So I had 2 things that I wrote about in mine, and one of them was 2 goals around weight loss, and the other one is around my business. And so it's something for me to keep coming back to. And so everybody that I do these for, we pick, for mine, I did it for myself, so I picked 2. But when I do it for somebody, we pick one thing, one area of their life that they're really looking to have that kind of insight. And one of the things for me, if I understand it through business lens, I can apply it to most everything else in my life. And so I'm just going to read this to you. Grace in the bones of your business, where presence becomes strategy and being becomes brand. Your capacity to feel the room, to speak with the right tone, to know when to communicate and when to wait. To offer beauty, not because you're trying to sell, but because you're anchored in emotional resonance. This is your grace, your niche. Gate 22.2 says, you don't have to show up every day the same way. You have to show up true. And truth for you lives in your wave. It's not linear. It's lyrical. It has tempo and silence and spaciousness. And when you allow your efforts, your posts, your workshops to rise from that rhythm, they land. Because they're carrying not just your skill, but your energy. This gate doesn't tell you what to sell. It tells you how to be while you're offering it. This is something I've really been helping other people with too, even if it's not part of their unconscious grounding. But I really truly believe this is the future of content creation. And it's going to be more about that energy you are being before you write anything or create your video. It's going to be more important than what you actually say, because it's going to facilitate what you say. It's going to energize what you say. It's going to change the tone in the words that you use. So I think this is like just a really important thing. And truth for you lives in your wave. It's not linear. It's lyrical. It has tempo and silence and spaciousness. When you allow your offers, your posts, your workshops to rise from that rhythm, they land. And this is something that I do. If you follow me on LinkedIn, which is where I post nearly every single day, at least mostly Monday through Friday, I think about rhythm and how the words land. And sometimes I even write some poems or something that's more narrative driven. I have my own unique way of doing it. It's my way. It's the way that aligns to me. And it's how I wish for everybody to show up. Because they're carrying not just your skill, but your energy. This gate doesn't tell you what to sell. It tells you how to be while you're offering it. I know I read that twice, but I think it's so important. When you're aligned in mood and grace, your voice carries resonance. Your art vibes truth. Your business becomes felt, not just understood. This is your foundation, and the gurus, masters, and guides just haven't caught up with it because they are working from past models. But you get to forge your own, one based in frequency. And that frequency starts with your solar plexus. When you pause, breathe, and let the next move reveal itself. And this is just my note to myself, how important this is all connected to my emotional solar plexus. And then I like to put some reflection questions and some things for me to kind of think about. And these work for me no matter how much money I'm making, how many clients I have or not, or how many posts seem to be landing, how many emails are opened or not. It doesn't matter. So denoising your mind, honoring your clarity, magnetism arising. Oh my gosh, I got to start over. Denoising your mind, honoring your clarity, magnetism arising. Where my business am I following thought forms instead of soul forms? Because sometimes, we all have like guidance and we all understand, kind of business, or maybe you're learning it. And I've had to uncoach myself on some things because not all of it is for me. Even though that might have been the way that's worked repeatedly for numerous people, that doesn't mean it's my way. What strategies, trends, or shoulds feel like static rather than resonance? And I talked about this in another video on my 22, that sometimes I get this, I don't actually hear it, but it's this sense of metal grinding on metal. And that's not for me. At least it's not for me today in this state of where I am. What happens when I let my voice be louder than what I've been consuming? Try expressing a business truth from silence without research or reference. Ooh, I love to dig into research and experiment and play and reference, and gives me something to grab onto. Sometimes, though, you just need your own distilled clarity. So give it up, uncoach yourself, unlearn sometimes. What kinds of creative expression help me sort my inspiration into what's truly mine? And writing and painting or recording an audio, something that clears that channel so I can hear not them, but hear me. So maybe I wanted to hear them and take it in, but now it's within me. Let me express out what's me, because it's not all me. It's kind of like how when I work with somebody, I was like, I'm going to offer you this, and you're going to take what's yours and just ditch the rest. You don't have to follow everything that I say. And I'm never going to tell you, you need to do all of these things. I'm going to make an offering. It's like a buffet. I need you to pick the things that speak to you. So try to be my own best client sometimes. How do I unconsciously radiate wisdom when I'm not trying to prove anything? Because that happens so often, yet we always feel like it's the proving that actually does it, and it's not. Reflect on client moments, DMs, or comments where your offhand words sparked transformation, because they're there. And now I keep a record of some of those. Like, ooh, I wasn't trying to make that land, but boy, even sometimes when you do a post on LinkedIn, and sometimes people will repeat something that you put in the post, even if it's not word for word. Those are the things that I clip, and I can go back to them like, oh yeah, look at all these times I wasn't even trying on this, and this is when it resonated. And it helps to build evidence for my mind that I've got this. What if my radiance is the business model? Instead of asking, what should I sell? Ask, what wisdom wants to be received through me today? So what within me is looking to come out for others? And this is all about expressing. And I'm tying into the emotions that feel safe, that feel true, that feel helpful, versus in, let me see what somebody else says that they like. Let me go look through the comments and see where the problems are and see if I can answer some of them. That's a different approach. My approach is, let me start within here. What have I been sensing that somebody out there needs to hear? And that's how I approach. I always start inside, never external. Once I get the inside coming out, then I can tap into the external, and maybe I make some adjustments, but it can't be the first thing that I lead with. I always need to lead with what's inside. So this is just me sharing what I've been doing and what I've been creating, and hopefully you get something from it.